Rudy, 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 Rudy. So I'm here with the 2025 USA National Champion in the hammer throw, one Rudy Winkler. Rudy, you've been here before. How do you feel?
I, I feel great. It's been a good season, very consistent. I'm glad I'm keeping that consistency going. Yeah.
You've had another meet, four throws over 80 meters. You peaked at 81.47 today. This is the best shape I've ever seen you in. As a fan, as someone who's followed your career since high school, how are you feeling right now, and how confident do you feel going into meets?
I feel good. The confidence is a funny thing. Like, I was definitely the most confident this whole week leading up to it. Normally, like, I start sleeping bad the week of meets, and you start getting, not self-doubt, but like those kind of thoughts, like, oh, I'm gonna foul out or not throw far enough or all these things. And I didn't have any of that this time around, which was really, really nice. And I don't know. I think I was going into this with this mentality of, if I just have like a normal training day, I'm most likely going to qualify for the team. So it was just about trying to produce just a normal throw. And I got that plus a little bit extra on my second one today with the 81. So, yeah, I think my confidence is definitely through the roof. I'm definitely in the best shape I've ever been in. I'm hoping I can just keep that rolling to Tokyo.
So you were here only a few short weeks ago where you broke your own American record, being the first American to break 83 meters. Well, take me back to Prefontaine. How did that day feel, and how did it feel when you saw 83 pop up on the board?
Yeah, pre was interesting because I think my week of training leading up to it was a little rough. It was super, super hot out, super humid out. I was having just like kind of relative bogus days compared to what I was having like the weeks before. And I knew pre was coming up, and I was like, it's a good opportunity for me to try and PR there. I knew it was going to be good energy. I knew Ethan and the other, Misha and Nowitzki were all going to be there. So it's like a good high energy meet where I get a chance to compete against the world's best. So I was a little bit bummed out going to the meet, and my wife even the night before was like, "Don't be so hard on yourself." Like trying to pre-mitigate my, if I had threw bad the next day. But I think that kind of freed me up a little bit to just be like, all right, like no matter what happened in training this week, I'm just going to try to execute as best I can on technical things. And I think even getting to go from extreme humid muggy heat to like nice Eugene weather, like kind of I was feeling good physically. My pre-meet the day before was really, really good, so I was like, all right, just execute, don't do anything crazy, and see what happens. So seeing that 83 meant a lot. And I mean, it was 4 years since my last PR, and as a thrower, it's tough to get stuck. Like, you start going through your head as the years go on, like, am I going to PR again, or do I just have to be complacent with potentially not PRing again? Like, you go through all those things. So for as hard as I've been working, it's good to see the results and good to see the PR again. I do think like I have more in the tank in terms of distance, so I'm hoping just to keep tapping into that and keep extending that American record even further.
Rudy, you've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
How has your approach evolved over the years compared to where maybe even were when you first made your first Olympic team back at Cornell?
I mean, so 2016 was my first senior team. My first ever team, like youth, junior, and all that stuff, was I think 2011. So it's been 14 years that I've been competing at a high level. Yeah, it's strange. I think you grow up in the sport, you see like changes of, I was competing with like Kibwe and A.G. Kruger back in the day. And to see sort of like the changing of the guard and to be a part of the generations that I've gone through, you learn a lot from them and you take little pieces here and there. I think now my approach is very more like holistic and maybe more mindful than it's ever been before. I feel like I have the best relationship to the sport that I've ever had. Before it was like this thing that I felt like I had to conquer, or I felt like maybe I deserved, whereas now it's more of this thing that I get to do. It's like an enjoyable thing, like tapping back into why I did this in the first place as a kid and trying to just bring that sort of energy to practice every day, I think is a big reason why I've been throwing really far. So, a big part of it too is my support system. Like, I have people in my life who are supporting me and who love me and I know are going to support me no matter what my performances are. I don't know. A lot has changed. I've grown up in the sport, and I'm so much older now, and I think I just have a such better perspective for my existence in the sport and in the world than I have in the past.
So it's funny you bring up the whole support system aspect because that has been the theme of today when it comes to me talking to Brooke Anderson, Janae Casnavoid, Deanna Price, even Trey Knight just now. They all said that what led to their success specifically today was their reliance on their support systems. How has your wife, your family, the people that have been around you helped you this year have such a, I don't want to say breakout year because you've been successful for in the past, but so consistent at such a high level? How would you say they've affected your season?
I think it's subtle. Like, my wife, I owe almost everything to. My wife, my coach. It's like, I think it's more of less the tangible things for me. Like, I don't know. She helps me in a bunch of different ways, but I think the biggest thing is just like emotional stability for me. Like, she's the best. She's like my best friend. Getting to be able to come home to her after training and just like tell her about my day and have her talk to me. She's like kind of my therapist in a way. I don't know. There's many things. She also does the tangible things. She helps me with like stretching and cooking dinner when I'm not there. And she's a lawyer, so she obviously makes money for us. And I don't know. There's just so many things that go into it. And then having a coach too, who just is very understanding of my life, my relationship with my wife, like the things I want to be doing, and also just giving me the perspective that I kind of just talked about with, you know, a more holistic approach to the sport, a more mindful approach to the sport. Like at the end of the day, it's all just about, at the end of the day, we're throwing a ball. Like, it's very easy as an athlete to get caught up in, wrapping your identity up with throwing. And I think my support system has been very big at like being like, you're you no matter what happens, right? And that's been really special. So I think that's a big part of it. And then obviously having help from my family and my friends and everyone with the tangibles of getting me places, helping support me financially, helping me support me with massages, whatever, all that stuff is all part of it too. But the emotional part of it is really significant for me.
Now, if we take a step back and look at not only your career, but just the playing field as it stands right now in not even just men's hammer throw, but women's hammer throw in the United States, you, and I mentioned this to Deanna, you both, I would say, have like been the leaders of your respective event groups, of like leading the charge as being the breakout ones that really made a scene on the world stage. And now to see the depth of hammer throwing back when only 10 years ago, United States was not considered to be an elite hammer throw country, to now seeing it took 74.50 to make the final of the men's event at the national championship. What do you think of the evolution of the sport, of where it is now, where it's been, and where it's going?
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking to somebody. 2016, I won trials with a 76-meter throw. And then 2018, I won nationals with like a 73 high. And it's a lot of the same faces who are, competing then that are competing now. But I think everybody's kind of grown up a little bit. And it's special to be a part of it. I don't know if it is directly because of me.
I would argue that you were influential.
Well, I appreciate that. And I think the big thing from our perspective is just the consistency. Like, the longer you stay in the sport, the better you're going to be. And I think showing people that even though you have a bad year or two, there's still light at the end of the tunnel. But also just like, we're all very open to sharing stuff about technique and training, and we all kind of want to help each other out there because it's a big community, and wanting to help the community is the best thing about the sport. So I don't know. It's really special. I'm happy to be like, I've seen so many generations come through the sport, and to be a part of that is incredible.
So talk to me through what is going to be your plan for the next 2 months leading into Japan. Are you going to be doing anything different you've done compared to other majors you've prepped for?
I mean, compared to other majors, yeah. I mean, I think in the past maybe I've pulled back on training a little bit too much and tried to like really lock into resting and being recovered and being really fresh, which we're going to obviously do those types of things, but I think it's really more about continuing what we're doing in training, not going crazy, not changing too much, just like keep the ball rolling, keep doing the same things, and keep just building the confidence going into it. I'm throwing well enough, and I still have a lot more in the tank. It's really just about finalizing some technical stuff and keeping, the whole idea of training and the energy I'm bringing the same between here and then.
This is going to be my last question, Rudy. You've been on numerous Olympic teams, numerous world teams. You've come so close in the past with fourth place finishes. What do you want in Tokyo?
What do I want? I want a consistent performance, and I think a consistent performance will bring a medal. I would love a medal, but I think a big part of my evolution through the sport compared to me now compared to me in 2016 is that I know getting a medal isn't going to change who I am, but I think it's possible. It's one of the big goals I still have in the sport, and I would love to be able to get that, and I think it's possible, so I'm gonna go for it as best I can. Yeah.
Well, I think it's possible. Your family thinks it's possible. Your coach thinks it's possible. Your friends thinks it's possible. The United States of America thinks it's possible. Congratulations, Rudy. Phenomenal performance. I'm excited to see you in Tokyo.
Thank you. I'll see you there. Bring it in.
I hugged the other United States hammer champ as well, so I'm 2 for 2.